Hello everyone, John here, your host on the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome back. We are apparently, we're back to fall now. It is fall. This is an industrial strength hot toddy, and between that and the cigars that I just got, I want to thank everybody who's donated on PayPal over there to my Scotch and Cigar Fund. All you guys and gals, thank you. I appreciate it mightily. So let's get out of the domestic issue of what is my health and move on to the issue of what is going on over in Syria. This is an important video for us as preppers because of all the question marks, right? So what has gone on is apparently in Aleppo and a couple other areas, some bombs have gone off. Some bombing raids have occurred. What's interesting, what's fascinating, is that the news is still remarkably silent about it. Now, RT, which is Russian television, has reported on it. Fox News here in the United States has reported on it. I'm sure other news agencies have reported on it, but they're not reporting on it a lot. They're not saying a lot, right? Now, when there was a chemical attack, supposedly, that was big, big news. They had to just come out and splash that everywhere. But some are calling this a bunker buster attack. Bunker buster bombs, now they're not Moabs, right? They're not the world's biggest bombs, but bunker busters are pretty damn big. You know, you don't just go down to a flea market and buy that. That kind of stuff is a little bit hard to come by. So, I reported some bombs fell. Now we've got more information. It appears that 26 people are dead. And it's reported, some reports say it's a combination of Syrian and Iranian forces. Right, Syrian and Iranian, not Iraqi, Iranian forces. Everyone is very hush-hush on this. And it's not like the people in the area are retarded, like they don't know. But no one's wanting to talk about this. What that tells me is this is not part of anyone's program. Certainly, if Trump was going to do this, you know, he'd be talking about it. Certainly, you know, if it was Russia, they'd be talking about this. You know, what we do know has been going on is we had the bomb or the missile strikes a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago. That occurred. That pissed off a lot of people, pissed off Russia. They said there was going to be retaliation. So if Russia was responsible for this bomb drop, these bunker busters, one, it doesn't make any sense because they killed their allies. Two, right, they would be taking credit for it. So who could be doing this? Right? Now my first guess, my top guess is Israel did it. Now we could call them leaks if we want. But, you know, I think they're just unsubstantiated claims and other people making shit up. But we can talk about them as possibilities. But the first set of possibilities I want to talk about is we have, I think, essentially two choices for what's going on in Syria. Either Q, and that means the United States and Putin, they're working together, right? And they're setting all this up, and they're going to get Syria taken down. That's the Q idea, is they're disarming the war zone. They're stopping the Syrian war zone. And I think that's what they want to do. And the other possibility is we've got World War III coming. And someone wants World War III. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu was out jacking his jaw. And he was talking about Iran and the nuke deal and how they're not going to tolerate this and they're not going to like that and blah, blah, blah. Right? Who is Israel to go into Syria and bomb? right? They've got a stake in the game. Well, they've got some territory there. One of the claims is they don't like the fact that Iran is allies with Syria. They don't like that. And so they see anything that is coming from Iran as aggressive, as something they need to put an end to. Right? And they feel that they have the authority to do it. Could that be what has happened is Israel has gone in there and blown up Iranians and Syrians because they don't like that? You know, that's the sort of thing that tells me, yeah, you want to start World War III, that's a hell of a good way to do it. Right? You know, through back channels, and these are the unsubstantiated reports I'm talking about, that Putin has blamed Israel, and Putin knows it was Israel and has told Israel, no more. That's your last chance. You don't get to go in and just do that anymore. You've now been officially warned. You know, that to me, one, it sounds likely, but two, it also sounds like bullshit. Right? If this was part of a plan and everyone knows who's doing what and why, it would make sense for Putin to go out in front of microphones and scream at the top of his lungs, and then everyone would know that Putin said that and who he was accusing. But instead, there's really no credit being taken, no credit being given for what's gone on. Now, what gets me is anything in the air, and I mean anything, whether it's a helicopter, unless it's a stealth drone, but stealth drones don't carry, I don't think, bunker busters. But helicopters, bombers, fighter jets, they all show up on radar. Anytime anything leaves the ground, it is tracked by everyone on all sides. Doesn't mean they're going to shoot it down. Doesn't mean they can shoot it down. Right? But they're watching. And it's believable that maybe the U.S. didn't see it, or maybe the Russians missed it, or maybe the Syrians didn't pick it up. But you can bet your ass somebody did. So radar knows. The radar knows. It knows where that jet came from. It knows, or jets. It knows where it took off from. It knows its flight path. It knows its speed. It knows its return, path. They know. When I say they, I'm assuming, based on how great they love to brag about their military, both the Russians and the U.S. know exactly where this came from. You know, one of the questions I have is, was this a deep state move? Right? Was this some rogue person in a Russian or American or Israeli or Iranian jet that did this? Right? It certainly doesn't fit the profile of what's going on over there. You know, it doesn't fall into that pattern of, well, we're going to do this because you did that and we're going to ask for this. Right? It's not the usual war rhetoric shit. But they dropped some big damn ordnance. They killed some people. Right? Somebody needs to answer for that, in other words. So, can we assume, you and I, that behind the scenes you've got Putin and you've got Trump on the phone going, yeah, this and that, that's what happened. Right? Wasn't planned, wasn't part of the program. Whoopsie-daisy. You know, or we now know who or where or what these things came from. What's important to me, what's entertaining to me, is to understand what's going on over there. What's tragic to me is that people are dying. What's worrisome as a prepper is things are being done, right? Some big fucking bombs being set off, being dropped by players in the game that nobody wants to talk about. And they should be able to talk about every player in the game, right? Whether it's Turkey or France or Greece or whatever. Everybody knows where those jets came from and landed. Everyone knows their signatures on radar. Everyone knows their speeds, right? So you can just measure all of those things and know what it is you're dealing with and who it is and where it came from. And nobody in the government is talking about it. Not to us. You see, when they want us to know for purposes of propaganda, they tell us. Right? When they don't want us to know, they hide shit from us. And when they're not certain, they hide from everybody. But no one's taking credit for it. Not terrorists, nobody. So is this a rogue nation? right? Or was this Israel? And the reason I say good chance it was Israel is they don't seem to give a fuck what anyone else thinks. They can be allies with us and allies with another country, but basically they just do whatever the fuck they want. You know, and I don't buy this story that they're the prophesied country. I think they're not the prophesied Jews, the Israelis. And it's the nation of Israel. It's not the people of Israel. That's my opinion. But they've demonstrated time and again that they they will attack others. You know, typically they go after places, bomb them, and then say it was Hamas, you know, a terrorist organization. And if it was, that's fine. You know, I don't want to get involved with war. I've had enough of it. I don't like my country being involved in it. All right, sorry about my voice. It's still really, really, really screwed up. Better today than yesterday. You know, I want to believe, I really want to believe that Trump is doing what he's doing for a reason. And that the people that are getting killed, it's just a, you know, it's part of this elaborate plan to fix everything. And I want to believe that because that has the best result, right? No war. They wind everything down. And we deal with our domestic insurrection issues here in the United States and our domestic economy and all the problems it's fraught with. But I see the potential for World War III being started. Right? I do. I see that. I see it can be started by some asshole. Right? It can be, like I said, a deep state operative. It can be someone who's trying to start the war because they want to bring the whole system down, right? The scorched earth concept. As a prepper, you know, until Trump does what he says he's going to do, until the swamp is drained, until people who are warmongers are out, right? I don't trust or believe anyone. I'm not going to sell my preps. I'm not going to sell my guns. I'm not going to, I'm not going to commit to anything. I believe we can't trust anybody. Right? There's old writings that say, I mean, they've got wisdom. It'll say things like, even the wisest among them didn't get it, right? So I don't trust anyone. People get fooled and deceived all the time. I don't feel like being one of those guys. I don't want to let my guard down. I trust no one on this. Right? What could happen to us if we did, right? You start letting your guard down. I don't know. It's just a really crazy scene over there in the Middle East. I'd like to see how this straightens out, how this flies. How they're going to explain this, or if it's just going to magically go away. Right? And so let's look at it. If it just goes away, like it doesn't happen again. Do you and I look at what's going on over there and go, hey, nothing happened again, so who did it? Right? Was it Israel and they were told never to do it again and they followed orders? Right? In other words, hey, if you do that again, you're going to get attacked. Or was this something like a stolen jet, some sort of espionage that was designed to drop some ordnance, kill some people, and start a war and blame it on someone else? Or was it truly, some rogue agency or rogue element that's involved? That's like it's like that person that runs out on the football field or the baseball field and streaks, right? The game just stops and everyone looks and goes, why are they doing that? Right? What's the point of that? You just interrupted everything. Nobody understands it. It's not part of the game that's being played, but it's on the field for just a couple of seconds. These bunker buster bombs going off and killing Iranians. It's not going to change things for the better for anyone. It could cause war to break out, right? But if it's a random act of terrorism by powerful people, it lets us know exactly how precarious a position we're in. And I've talked about this in the past. What if there's a cyber attack in the U.S. or a cyber attack in Russia that shuts down parts of the infrastructure? What if there is a chemical or nuclear or biological attack in the United States? You know, does Trump run over to the red button and hit it and do a full launch on Russia for it? You know, of course not, and I certainly would hope not, right? But that would be the type of provocative action that would be taken that we would say the deep state would do in order to try and cause a war and camouflage what they're up to. Now, a bunker buster bomb or several of them dropped in Syria isn't the same thing as a small nuke or a large nuke or any nuke or any terror bombing in the United States. Right? It's not that those 26 people that died are not valuable human beings, but rather they're not Americans, they're not Russians, right? So they're not going to be covered by a free press or a semi-free press, right? Everyone's going to know about it. Word will be spread. Now this bomb that went off over there in Syria, or these bunker buster bombs, you know, what happened with them? Well, regular people, just like you and me, got their camera phones out, snapped pictures, snapped videos, so there's a media record of it. You know, same thing would happen over here. They can't just sweep it away. There's too many people paying attention. So they would have to explain it to us if it happened here. Now, there was a big piece of ordnance dropped in the Ukraine a few years ago. And some long-distance photography of it, people were saying, was that a nuke, a tactical nuke dropped in Ukraine in order to cause a wider war over there? And this is back when Obama was president. And it certainly looked like it, or looked like it could be. Very, very scary. If something like that happened in the United States, they may not show it in Russia, but it would certainly be all over, you know, our news. You know, what I'm looking at here is whether this bombing was accidental by the Russians or the Iranians or the Americans or some other country, if it was accidental or intentional by the Israelis. It's being treated with kid gloves. It's being treated very seriously because of the silence surrounding it. You know, a lot of times it's not the words that are said, but the words that are not said. Who is not being blamed? What actions are not being taken because of it? What political responses we're not hearing? Right? We're supposed to be getting peace in Syria, and this bomb goes off, or series of bombs, and no one's saying a fucking word. Right? No one's saying a word about it. Shh. Right? That's the deal. That means some fishy shit is going on. My voice is getting roasted out again. Everything else is going as planned. The economy looks like shit. Right? Get ready. Right? Socially, this country's falling apart. Get ready. A lot of stupid going on. Get ready for shit to hit the fan. Hopefully it's just light. Shit hits the fan light. Right? That's what I want, because I do not want anything worse than that. But as things stand, you know, things aren't looking good. So get yourself secured with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Have a plan. Don't get caught off guard. Don't get rope-a-dope. Don't get tricked. Right? Understand that we're just pawns. We're just pawns, you and I. You know, but I want this pawn to live. Right? Right? While they're playing all their fancy games with the world, right? The world is their chessboard. This right here is mine. So I'm going to protect myself and protect it, protect my family and protect my group. You guys be cool. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.